Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, I'm continuing my Stephen King marathon, and this film I totally forgot again, but since I started watching it, I remembered it, of course. Now, it's called Quicksilver Highway. It was released in 1997. It was originally shown on TV and then released on home media later. It's based on two short stories, one by Stephen King called Chattery, and one by Clive Barker called The Body Politic. Now, when it was originally shown on TV, it was shown with, the way it was meant to be seen, with Chattery as the first story and The Body Politic as the second story. But for some reason, when they made it for home media, 20th Century Fox wanted the order of the stories swapped around, which is really strange. So when it was released on video, The Body Politic was first and Chattery was second. I don't know why they did that. Now, Chattery was one of the stories. I think it was in either Night Shift or Skeleton Crew, and I read it back in the day. It's basically about a man who. I should start with how the film starts out. The film starts off with a couple who have just gotten married, who have got a flat tire. They're stuck on the side of the road, and the man does the traditional thing and goes off to get help or to get a new tire and to come back to his wife, who I think is pregnant. So she waits in the car, and then this guy, Aaron Quicksilver, shows up in his van, and he basically invites her in and tells her the story of Chattery, which is a story of a man who picks up a hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker tries to kill him. He crashes the car, and a pair of giant novelty metal Chattery with feet that walk, you wind it up and it would walk, they were given to him by a guy at a restaurant / store, where he picked up the hitchhiker. And just when they've crashed and the guy's trapped in his seatbelt, because he thought he would kill the hitchhiker by slamming on the brakes because he was seatbelted, the other guy wasn't. But then he was too busy yelling at him that a car got in the way, and he swerved and then went off the road, tipped over once and was stuck in his seatbelt, and the hitchhiker was free to try to kill him. But then the Chattery killed him, which is slightly comical. And then the Chattery drags him off into the desert. The guy goes back to the place where he got the Chattery and they're there waiting for him. They appeared on the doorstep of the restaurant, and the lady whose husband, who had cancer, died in the meantime, in the year that took him to recover from his accident and come back, kept them for him. So she gives them to him and he leaves with them. So that's the first story. And the girl, the wife, is like not impressed really with the story. And then another guy shows up and he's in shock because he's just hit a hitchhiker, and it's her husband who's being dragged off by the Chattery She goes and finds him, and that's the end of her story. Now, the second story is there's a guy who is he's a pickpocket at a fair, at a carnival, and he is trying to hide from the police who've been called because he's been caught pickpocketing someone. He goes and hides in Mr. Quicksilver's van, and he tells him another story. He tells him the story of The Body Politic, which is about a doctor whose hands get a mind of their own, and one of them chops the other one off, and he ends up in hospital, and then everyone's hands become possessed, and everyone cuts one of their hands off, and the hands all want freedom from the body, and they want to escape, and they're running around trying to kill people, and eventually he jumps off the roof, and all the hands follow him and die. The hands were all performed by the magician who did Thing in the Addams Family, all three of the Addams Family films, the two feature films and the direct-to-video one. It's a weird story. And then it ends with a lady, I'm not sure if she was in the story, I'm not sure if she was someone who recovered from the hand incident or if it's just a random thing, but her nose starts moving and talking and she cuts her nose off. So that's the end of that story. Now, I love anthology films. I love short story films. So the only problem with this is it's about an hour and 25 minutes that I wish they'd done 3 stories, because the stories are quite good and long, but they are a bit long and you're sort of like, when's this going to end? Because you're wanting the next story to come and then you only get the 2 stories. So that's the only problem with the film. There's only 2 stories. But it's sold as a horror comedy. It's kind of funny, but the stories, they're more fun than anything else. And I do remember Chattery Teeth and thinking it was ridiculous, and the idea of them making it into a short story or a part of a film was kind of weird at the time. But I saw it on video and I liked it, and I can't believe I couldn't remember what it was, but I keep thinking Quicksilver Highway, I know that film, I know I've seen that one, but I could never remember what it was. But I watched it, I'm glad, and I just wish they made more anthology films. It's something that we don't see a lot of anymore, but we used to get a lot of in the 80s and 70s and the 80s and into the 90s. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I wish they'd make more anthology films. I really enjoy them.